The special guest in today's show of Bots TV is no one else than Dr. Charles Nenner. Dr. Charles Nenner is the founder and president of the Charles Nenner Research Center since 2001. However, Charles, your career started long before 2001. Could you explain a little bit about your career path?
Well, my career is that I studied medicine, and when I was waiting for a position, I saw a program about financial markets. And I thought that I could have a very nice input because I did research when people are psychotic all over the world, if that happens at the same time, and it did, and it worked in cycles. So I thought maybe the mass psychology will work in cycles also in financial markets. And I went to Merrill Lynch in Amsterdam, and then a couple of years later, I started my own firm on Wall Street. Which I sold out. And then in '98, I went back and I started working with Goldman Sachs. And after the Obama administration stopped all kinds of, let's say, things we did, constructions we did, then I started my own research firm.
Yeah, and you mentioned, sorry?
Yeah. So the research is based on what I call neural networks. It's computers that think for themselves. And it's based on the fact that moves in financial markets are not at random, they're predictable. What it means is if a move is starting to go up, you know how high it goes, and you know how long it takes, how many weeks, how many days until the top is reached. And then if there's a top on the cycle and the cycle turns down, then you know the market is going to turn down, and you can calculate how low it goes. So you can calculate mathematically exactly, actually, the computer can calculate exactly mathematically every move that's going on, especially in the Bitcoin, because the Bitcoin has almost no fundamentals. So it's not that suddenly a research program or anything fundamentally will come out. It's all based on emotions, and that's very easy for the computer to predict.
Yeah, and when we go more into what you mentioned, the cycle analysis and the neural networks, you use cycle analysis, pattern recognition, and many different indicators. And before we are now having this live chat, we spoke also about emotion and the fact that computers don't have any emotion, while when people are trading and putting their lines on the chart, there is emotion. What was the reason for you to eventually build a system that doesn't trade with emotion or doesn't predict the future with emotion?
Well, I was at the time I was in New York, and I was watching programs about Wall Street live, and it explained why the market goes up today, why it goes down today. And since there was not too much news, or they just brought up some news that had nothing to do with it, I came to the conclusion that there must be something else going on. It's just the emotional state of the market. And if that's predictable, and it is predictable because you and I might maybe have free choice, but if millions, 100 millions of people are doing the same thing, they neutralize itself, and there's no free choice. So the only thing you have to calculate is what their no free choice is, and when they're going into the market and when they're going out of the market.
Yeah, so it's a lot of psychology involved as well in the work that you do. And then eventually you had the financial markets in the 90s, and then the crypto industry came, well, maybe out of nowhere. What did you think first hand when you heard about cryptocurrency and about Bitcoin?
I tell you honestly, I didn't have enough insight, enough knowledge about it. I was too busy doing what I did. But then there were so many people who requested the Bitcoin forecast. So we added to the research the Bitcoin forecast. We have it 4 times a week. We show on Sunday, we show what the cycle looks like, so people don't have to take my work. They can see for it what the cycle looks like. And it's doing extremely well because it's very, like I said, very easy. We're not bothered by any fundamental research that comes out. So it's all emotions, and we just let the computer decide the buy and the sell levels.
Yeah, so you're also able to actually predict the future of, let's say, the Bitcoin cycle. Now, there's multiple cycles in the Bitcoin industry. We had, of course, the rally in 2013, then we had the one in 2017. We're currently in a rally as well. And if you had to predict the Bitcoin future for yourself, looking at the emotions, but also the institutions and organizations that are adding Bitcoin to their treasuries, for example, Tesla recently, and I believe Miami did the same as well. Where do you think this industry of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is going to go?
You see, that's a good question, and I don't know if I'm the expert to answer that. I work with, is Bitcoin going up and down, which day it's going up and down, how high it's going, and the rest I leave to other people to give the interpretation. I have enough work to decide what the direction of the Bitcoin is, and when to sell and when to buy. The rest for me is speculation. I really don't have more information than other people, so I prefer to not go into that.
I think it's a great answer, because the best entrepreneurs know what they're good at and they find a team around them to figure out the other stuff, right?
Right.
So when we look at Bitcoin, however, you eventually got questions from other companies, from clients. Those could be hedge funds, banks, brokerage firms, family offices, individuals. Those are like companies and individuals you've worked with. Since when did you hear them talking about Bitcoin and the interest of hearing more about it?
Well, about half a year ago, we really got a lot of requests from individuals for Bitcoin. And about 3-4 months ago, the banks came and the hedge funds came to join them. They want a bit longer term forecast, while the individuals want to have a bit shorter term forecast. So if everything that they can get, if they go to charlesnenner.com, it's Nenner, Nenner, they can have a free trial for 4 weeks and they can see how we do it.
And when people can see how you do it, looking at the charts of, for example, the cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin, actually, that's a good question as well. Do you only focus on Bitcoin or also other cryptocurrencies that clients are
No, I only focus on this. I focus on Bitcoin because if you know where Bitcoin is going, you don't have to do anything else for the rest of your life. And if you don't, then you have to spread out over all kinds of other currencies and other assets. It means you don't know really what's going on. So one asset is good enough if you're good at it.
Yeah, focus. And when you compare with you have so much experience in the financial market and the different cycles and patterns that you've seen in all those years. When you look at Bitcoin from the beginning in the early 2009, 10s to where it is now, do you also see the same cycles and the same patterns and the same type of indicators that work during these Bitcoin cycles?
They work very well. Like I said, we're not bothered by any fundamental research coming out. For a while, we did only daily forecasts because we didn't have enough data. In order to do weekly forecasts, you need 15 years of data, but we're getting there. And soon we're getting monthly forecasts because we get more data. So we can do already longer term forecasts. But for the clients, we do daily forecasts, which usually means you take a position for 1 or 2 weeks, and like it looks now is the average trade is like 5,000-6,000 points, 7,000 points for a trade.
And when we move out of the cryptocurrency industry and look at the financial industry as a whole again, and more your own opinion and perspective, there's a lot of people talking about digital gold, about a store of value, about maybe even becoming a true currency in the future in the financial market, like Miami showed this week. Where do you think where the financial industry is going in the upcoming 5, 10, maybe 20 years?
I know as much as you. News, I don't know if it's fake news. I don't know what's true, what's not true anymore.
You maybe have any thoughts about where things might head to, maybe with the inflation that people talk about a lot?
Well, they talk about inflation for the last 30 years, and my research all the time shows there's no inflation. And I think we're in the stock market, we're getting ready for a major crash. It's going to destroy a lot of wealth that people have. And I'm afraid that all the newcomers that don't really know what they're doing, they just buy something because tomorrow the price is higher, are going to get hurt. So we start to be very careful over here. probably the middle of March or so starts to be a very dangerous period. It's only a couple of weeks away.
And how did you get to that prediction again? Of course, you use models, but what's the thought behind the upcoming crash or the prediction?
Well, the thought is, I wrote about that. If it would be so easy that the Federal Reserve keeps interest rates low and that keeps the stock market going, then we can do it for the next 100 years and everybody will be rich in the end, right? So something is not for real. It's just an illusion. And the day of reckoning is coming. And we have reached almost my upside price target for the markets. And the cycle is stopping in March. So it starts to be very risky.
And do you then also believe the Bitcoin cycle ends in March? I see many people in the industry talking about the bull cycle, the bull run ending at the end of this year, like August, October, December. But you believe it might be earlier?
No, the Bitcoin cycle continues just after the summer. We took profit at 46,500 because there was a price target, and we don't have a sell signal yet. So we give where it gives a sell signal, and as long as there's no sell signal, it goes up. So we have two kinds of forecasts. One is for conservative traders. It says, we were long all the time, and the target was 46,500. If we go much above it, I get higher price targets, so go in again. And speculative traders just stay long as there's no sell signal. But the cycles look good into the summer.
Yeah, and actually this night, let's say in Central Eastern time, we had a new all-time high as well of 49,000. Finally, because we were talking about the crash, last question, I'm interested in what you think about the big reset and people talking about that big reset. Might the crash in March be some sort of reset for many people?
Again, I don't know what they're talking about. If you can explain to me, but I get that question a lot. If you know what the definition is of the big reset, I could answer you. But until now, I don't know what it is.
It's interesting you get the question regularly. Now, the big reset is also going into inflation and the fact that there's so much money in the world and the value therefore becomes lower that eventually, there's let's say, a lot of money, but too little value, and therefore you get a crash basically because the prices rise in the shops and everywhere, but the value gets less of the money you have.
Yeah, but usually a crash happens unexpectedly when there's news out there that everybody knows it's already in the price.
Yeah.
So
by the rumors,
going to happen. So, yeah, something's going to happen maybe in the middle of March. Maybe the new mutation of the virus is going to overrule the medicine that we have, and we have a new crisis. I don't know. Something's going to happen, and it always comes from a place that you don't expect.
Yeah, I think that's a great end. Like basically in 2020 in March when COVID happened, there was a very big crash as well. Let's see what March 2021 will bring us, and if the predictions are going to be true in March. At least, Dr. Charles Nenner, thank you for taking the time to talk with us. And I wish you the best. We spoke before this interview as well. Good luck in America, where you're going to go very soon as well. And I hope the Charles Nenner Research Center is going to do amazing work in the financial industry in the upcoming future.
Yeah, just take a look for 4 weeks. You have a free trial and see how we do it. You don't have to take a trial. At least see how we calculate so you have a new point of view how to approach markets.
Yeah, where can people find you? Would be good.
If they go to Charles Nenner, NENNER.com, they can sign up for 4 weeks of free trial. And then if they want to continue, they can sign up to continue.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Charles, for your time. And hopefully speak to you soon again.